All right, let's dive in. We're going way back, all the way to the 14th century, to explore the profound wisdom of Saint Catherine of Siena. Now get this, her work, A Treatise of Divine Providence, was actually dictated while she was in a state of ecstasy. It's basically a spiritual roadmap, and you know what? It's just as powerful today as it was 650 years ago.
So her whole work really kicks off with this huge question about, well, us. What is our biggest problem as human beings? Her answer is that we're made for something more, for God. And the fact that we're separated from that source, that's what leaves us feeling this constant pain and just this sense that something is missing.
And she doesn't pull any punches. The treatise basically says the road to eternal life was just broken, snapped, severed by disobedience. And that left all of humanity totally disconnected, just kind of adrift, unable to find any real peace on our own. It's a really stark image, this massive break right at the center of everything.
But okay, the story doesn't just end there with this broken road. Nope. St. Catherine lays out this absolutely magnificent and powerful solution that God provided to fix it. And it all comes down to the central metaphor of her entire work. Let's get into it.
So what's the solution? It's this incredible metaphor, the bridge. We're not talking about a physical bridge, of course. It's this beautiful allegory for Christ. Think about it. His dual nature, being both divine and human, is what makes him the perfect bridge to span that impossible gap between our messy, earthly humanity and the greatness of the deity.
And the why behind this metaphor is just fascinating. The logic goes like this. A regular human who is finite could never make up for an infinite offense against God. It just doesn't scale, right? So, for the bridge to work, it needed two things: a human nature that could actually endure the suffering, and a divine nature to make that sacrifice infinitely valuable, to make it count. It's this perfect, mind-bending union of strength and worth.
Okay, so the bridge is there, God built it, but how do you actually use it? How does a soul get across? Well, it's not like just taking a walk in the park. It's a real spiritual journey, a very intentional climb that happens in 3 specific stages.
And these steps are all about a deep internal change. First, you start at the feet. That means lifting your affections away from all the earthly stuff, stripping away your vices. Then you move up to the side, or the heart, the core. This is where you gaze into Christ's heart and just get filled with love and virtue. And finally, you reach the mouth, where you actually taste true peace, a peace that's totally free from that constant war against sin. It's a journey from cleaning up your act to filling up with love to finally finding peace.
All right, so this all sounds very mystical and 14th century, right? But how does it actually work for us, today, in our modern lives? Let's break down how this ancient wisdom can be a super practical guide for our relationships and just our own personal growth.
The whole journey, the first step onto that bridge, it all starts with one thing: knowing yourself. The text points to perverse self-love as the biggest roadblock. Why? Because it makes us the star of our own show, right? The center of the universe. And that just blinds us to our connection with God. So what's the fix? True self-knowledge. That's what brings humility. That realization that, hey, everything I am, everything I have, it comes from a source of love that's way bigger than me.
And here's where it gets really interesting, kind of like a plot twist. You don't just prove your love for God in isolation like a hermit on a mountain. No way. St. Catherine says our spiritual progress is tested and proven through other people. Yeah, our patience, our charity, our humility. It all comes out in how we treat the people around us, our neighbors. This quote just perfectly captures the mindset we're supposed to have. Instead of jumping to judge someone for their flaws, the idea is to have this deep, holy compassion. Today it is your turn, and tomorrow it will be mine. I mean, wow. That's such a powerful reminder that we're all in the same boat. We're all vulnerable. It just completely shifts you from a place of criticism to one of empathy.
The good news is you're not expected to figure this all out on your own. The text is packed with amazing examples of people who actually walked this path, who crossed the bridge, and they can totally be our guides. And the number one example, of course, is St. Catherine herself. I mean, think about it. She was the daughter of a simple dyer, but her incredible spiritual life gave her so much influence that she was advising popes and princes. She actually helped persuade the Pope to move back to Rome, ending this 70-year period where the papacy was in France. It's just a mind-blowing example of how a deep inner change can have a massive impact on the real world.
But it's not just her. The treatise talks about other sons of the church, these bright lights who show us the way. Each one represents a different core virtue you need for the journey. You've got St. Paul, who was all about sacrifice, St. Francis, who built everything on poverty and humility, and St. Dominic, the champion of truth. It's like they each represent one of the essential building blocks of the bridge itself.
Okay, so you've climbed the 3 steps, you've followed the guides, you're practicing virtue with your neighbor. What happens next? Where does this all lead? What's waiting for us at the other end of the bridge?
The destination has a name: the unitive state. It's described as this deep, profound union with God, where the soul gets, and I love this phrase, the earnest money of eternal life. Like a down payment on heaven, something you get to taste while you're still here on earth. That inner battle with sin, it's finally over. And all that's left is this deep, lasting peace.
And this leads to a really powerful concept, this idea of receiving 100-fold for one. So what's the deal? What's the one thing you have to give up? It's your own will. The treatise says that if you can just surrender that one thing, you get back the perfection of divine love, which has all the virtues wrapped up inside it. Talk about the ultimate spiritual investment, right?
And that really brings us right back to us, here and now. St. Catherine's whole epic spiritual journey, this incredible bridge from earth to heaven, it all boils down to a single personal choice. This isn't just a question for mystics from the 1300s. It's for every single one of us. So the final thought is this. What is that one thing for you? That piece of self-will, that attachment, that thing you could surrender to start your own journey across the bridge?